This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me once again is the director of Atco Mining, Mr. Neil McCallum. Neil, I mentioned last time we spoke publicly that you had a hot hand and doesn't seem to be cooling off anytime soon. How are you today?
Yeah, good thing. Good.
Listen, you just announced the final airborne results, confirming the presence of large salt dome structures, and the plurality there is important, right? Multiple structures. You also just obtained a U.S. listing, which I know is something that the company was working on for a while behind the scenes. So, congrats on both fronts. What does it mean to have the final interpretation of these 2 to 3 is how the release describes it, 2 to 3 high priority oval shaped gravity anomaly targets? What does that mean for the company? I know it's a big deal. I know that you're happy about it. What does it mean for those that follow the space and are trying to gauge what the potential is here?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good question. So when we picked up these projects, we had some indication based on historical information that goes way back to the uh, 50s, 60s, 70s when folks were looking at this area for oil and gas potential. And part of that was with the search for salt domes, as those end up being sometimes oil and gas traps. Well, lo and behold, those salt domes are actually worth something now in terms of the storage potential for the support of the large scale hydrogen production that's thought of for the area. And with that historical data, it's old, it's outdated, and we needed to really confirm that with the airborne geophysics. And that's just what we've done, is that it's done a really good job of confirming it and more in terms of giving us a little bit better precision on the data, and we're able to do a lot more with it in terms of geophysics modeling using 3D techniques. It's really interesting to see how these play out.
Tell me about the different targets. You mentioned 2 to 3, and it sounds like it's not clear whether it's 3 targets or 2 targets. Why the discrepancy there?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at them, there's one that's quite long. It's about 6 kilometers long, and it might be sharing the same roots at depth. And then as these things, as you look sort of through the depth slices, as you come towards the surface, they might actually be two of them with the same root at the bottom. So that's why I'm saying 2 to 3. And then there's another completely distinct one. So that's why I'm saying 2 to 3 total.
Excellent. Now, moving forward, we talked I want to say actually a few days ago, maybe a week or so ago, and we discussed how, in traditional mining, right? You hire the drills, you get the contractors out there, you start vectoring towards your target, you wait on assays, and it can be years before you actually get to being able to prove the value that's in the ground. It's very different for what Atco is looking to do here. Can you explain that process a bit for those that may not be familiar?
Sure. I mean, what we're looking to do is to, do the absolute test for this and any other project, which is drilling. So that's what this geophysics does, is really gives us the ammunition to get to the next stage of drilling. Because once we drill, the idea is to go right through the salt dome to confirm the presence, the depth, thickness, that kind of stuff.
Excellent. As far as the business model goes, how long is it going to take to get a drill turning and to actually prove up what's either there or what's not there?
Yeah, I mean, it can be done quickly. Like, we can get out there as early as the summer once we've got financing in place and logistics set up and things like that. It's not going to take too long to get to that next step.
Excellent. So we'll know what we have. What's the potential as far as the hydrogen storage? I know that aspect of the story is a part that I can tell you from my personal experience is not as well understood. I've had subscribers write in asking about the potential. They're intrigued by it, but I don't think it's as appreciated
Yeah.
in this part of the world. And this part of the world where the projects are at is important because I think that's what really lays the groundwork for what Atco is looking to do.
Absolutely, yeah. And what Newfoundland is doing is they're positioning themselves as trying to be a leader in the space, right? They are going to be fast tracking the permitting process for really what ends up being a two-stage process. First, you need to generate power, and they're going to do that completely through wind power. Next phase is getting the hydrogen production, which is planned to be there. There's companies that have applied for the permits for the wind power, as well as setting the stage for the funding for what will be like a large scale operation there. So, all signals are go. It's just a matter of getting the wind rights from Newfoundland, who are going through that process right now, and then getting that funding towards the hydrogen production.
And ultimately, Atco obviously is positioning itself to play a large part on the storage side of it, correct?
Exactly, and that's just the point of it too. Is with the proposal for the energy production for the hydrogen production, hands down, people have done this in other parts of the world. Hands down, the cheapest way to store that hydrogen, because you can't always ship it out as soon as you produce it, is to send it underground for underground storage. They're doing this in, I believe, Texas, Utah, for similar styles of industrial scale production of hydrogen on a large scale. It's way cheaper than compressing it or converting it, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I've said before, I love being early to stories. I know you and DeRouge Consulting and the team at Atco loves positioning ahead of the crowd and ahead of the herd. Again, with a $5 million market cap, it's not going to take a lot for this to go much higher. And I'm really excited for the next couple of months getting in position to put a drill out there and see what you turn up. What comes next, Neil?
Yeah, like I said, we're positioning ourselves towards drilling, and we're also working on a few other things in the background here that I can't quite talk about yet, but we're looking to build value, and we've got a young, energetic group of people working on it. So look forward to more.
Awesome. Neil, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.